But going into the second verse, it's then lovely because you get these strings that kind of come in that are this beautiful big stereo image, and it's the first time they're kind of given the space to really just sit in the stereo image with Michael's vocal and just really kind of have their room and have their time. And I mean, they're very, very understated strings, but incredibly beautiful. But I mean, if you were to just play those and the vocal, you get so much, there's so much information already within this. It was always having to be about showing those off. And then they continue into the second chorus, and they really kind of just explode from that point. So. And these were actually recorded, not in a studio, these were actually recorded in a theatre where they kind of took in a rig. I mean, they did an amazing job of recording them, but they've got such a particular sound because they weren't recorded in a studio. So they've got a very, very unique character, which really does continue through the kind of story of the song and what it's all about. It was really kind of just very, very important to showcase these strings as much as possible. And as I mentioned within the rough mix, I just felt like you could hear them, you could kind of see them, but you couldn't feel them. One of my biggest things I really wanted to focus in on the song is making sure that Michael and these strings were, you know, leading when they needed to lead. And so with that, it really didn't take very much because they're so well recorded. And it's just really just a few notch EQs. I think with strings, if you start playing around them too much, they become unnatural, they sound unnatural. And so with, I mean, for instance, the room is kind of leading most of it. And on this, there's really just tiny, I mean, it's not massively, you know, overriding. I mean, on that, I'm just literally doing one notch. There's a small amount of multi-banding that's happening. But I mean, if I was to play you the string and point out the frequencies I'm taking out, it's just that, where it is kind of not a great place to be going and not a place, you know, where the vocal will be there. There's a lot of things that are happening and they resonate out. It's the same with this. It's a very resonant frequency. And so it's, once you start finding those things and just pointing them out, it really is very, very quick. As well as that, I also then, on the console, and this is basically the plugin from the console, as it's a digitally controlled analog desk, you basically have to load up the plugin here to be able to use the EQs on the board, or you can use the screen on the console as well, but this is just the easier way. But basically with this, I could add a really lovely amount of just top end from the 88R EQ. And so if I play and just drop it in and out, there's a real kind of air that is added with these, which kind of just makes them soar out over the song. That, to me, that EQ was the thing that kind of really brought them out. I mean, if I just play just the instrumental so you can hear. And as that progresses into the outro, you just can hear that they're just consistently always sat in a place where they're really present, really well felt, but they're not harsh. They're not trying to push other things out of the way. They just have their own space. When I take them out and you have all the vocals, basically everything just without the strings, that's a pretty full sounding mix, even without the strings in. And so it's just finding that perfect space for them just to slide into.